Welcome to the Soul Archaeology podcast, a space for connection, resonance, witnessing, and learning. Together we'll harvest medicine from the spiral of life, sharing conversations with other embodied humans who have navigated their own initiations and found alignment with their true soul essence. With weekly astrology, energy updates, embodied conversation, and channeled teachings, this is a space for you to land and find resonance with the spiral of your own soul. Hello, welcome back to Soul Archaeology. Happy New Year. Happy Aries season. Happy Mercury direct. I feel like last week was a whole wild lifetime in and of itself. So swirly as we approach the end of the astrological year, as we move through the new moon in Pisces. If you haven't listened to last week's episode, I highly recommend that you do, because often these episodes build upon one another. So it's helpful to have just the base foundational pieces of last week's episode as we move into this week and talk about the energetics of this new chapter, which really actually began on Friday with the astrological new year, with the initiation into Aries season, emerging from this Piscean fog. Mercury's direct. Mars and Mercury are still in Pisces, so there is sort of this haze, but there's so much more open space for things to begin to unfold quite rapidly. And the energy of April is profound. It's one of the most significant months of 2026. If you haven't listened to my 2026 forecast workshop, I highly recommend that you do. That lays out kind of the infrastructure of this year, what to expect, how to work with it. That's linked in the show notes. And we just crossed the Spring Equinox. I talk a lot about it in the last episode, but in so many ways, I think that we have crossed a balance point and we're entering into more light, more heat, more fire, more illumination, more conscious action and choice and effort. And there's a pretty dramatic shift. I don't know if you felt it, but I think that will just continue to increase as we move into the year. April's incredibly fast. July is incredibly fast. And what's significant about April is that we're direct. The planets are direct. We're moving forward. We are activating in April things that will unfold over the next 2.5, 8, 100 years. So in so many ways, April is the match that lights the fire. July ignites it even further, spreads it even further. So be very aware of what you're choosing right now, down to the tiniest, most seemingly insignificant choices. Those are important. And to really get clear on where we are manifesting from, what we're creating from. I've been talking a lot about this over the last 6 months, and really knowing that the energy we're moving into is the full activation of our creator self, our co-creative self, which means that we have to be clear around where we are creating and weaving the fabric of our reality from. We know this is our subconscious. 95% of our reality is a projection of our subconscious, which holds the beliefs that have been shaped and formed from the past. The cool thing is that our subconscious is malleable, so we can go in there and we can rework things. When we're in a theta state, when we are in a state where our subconscious is forward, it can't tell between the past, the present, the future. So we can actually go in and shift and change memories, which is amazing. That's a lot of the work that I do with clients, and a lot of what I'll be teaching in my group mentorship called The Vessel, which is launching on April 3rd. Our first session is on April 3rd. If you've been feeling like you want to join, now is the time. There are just a few spaces left. If it's been on your mind, on your heart, if it's been calling to you, I would love to have you there. If you would like to learn more or speak to me, you can email me, you can book a clarity call. but I really built this container as a vessel to help us move through the incredible energy of 2026 and 2027. We start with the astrological new year, Aries season. We move through and into the end of the astrological year in 2027. So this is serving as a bridge, a vehicle, a container for rapid expansion and growth. I believe that we grow tenfold in relationship, in community, when we're witnessed, seen, when there's co-regulation, when the group field is electric. And this is already such an incredible group. I'm so excited. It's a new Earth school. It is a blueprint for the world that we're creating. So very excited. If you're interested in learning more, you can go to the show notes. I'm linking the vessel there. And yeah, we're coming down to the wire. I can't believe it's already here. Time has been so wild. I don't know if you guys have been feeling that, but it's so stretchy. It's short and charged and condensed, and then it's wide and stretchy too. So that's just the energy of now. I believe that we are seeing tangibly more and more what we've always known to be true. Time is not linear. We are the creators of our reality. We don't have to remain enslaved to the systems that no longer serve. And as we move into this era of Aries, Saturn and Neptune in Aries, we're in Aries season. The next few years will be defined by the ego, the self, and really, really getting in there and fine-tuning our relationship with the ego, our relationship with the self, so that we can create a reality that is focused on the good of all. And we know February 20th, we had the creator point activated. We had it activated again when the sun passed over. Last Friday on the equinox, the astrological new year, the sun passed over 0 degrees Aries. And this week, the sun leads a procession. Actually, Venus led it, but the sun is starting to move into Aries, leading a procession of our personal planets, activating that creator point, activating Saturn and Neptune, newly in Aries. So this is a week of illumination. Remember, we still have Mercury in its shadow. It's moving out of its shadow, but it's still there. We have Mars in Pisces. So although there's more forward movement, we're still emerging. And I think it's important to remember that if you don't feel completely clear, that's okay. It will come. I have no doubt that clarity is coming this year. Anything that you've felt unclear on or murky or dragging your feet, anything that you've hesitated on this year, it's going to manifest whether you like it or not. That's why I'm saying it's so important to get in there and really understand what beliefs are creating our reality, because things will be created rapidly, regardless of whether we're conscious of them or not. I want to be conscious of what I'm creating. So now is the time. It's a big time. And this week we have, like I said, the sun is activating Saturn and Neptune. So we have on March 22nd a Neptune Cazimi, which is when the sun and Neptune meet. Neptune enters the heart of the sun. On March 25th, we have the Saturn Cazimi. Same thing. Saturn's entering the heart of the sun. And then on March 26th, we have Venus meeting with Chiron. We have a Venus-Chiron conjunction in Aries. We've just crossed the spring equinox. We've entered Aries season. A new cycle has begun. But instead of, like I said, fast initiation or immediate movement, we get 3 really deeply internal conjunctions this week. So this is a week of inner orientation, recalibration. We're getting things sorted. We're putting things in the proper place so that when we start creating, when the fire is lit, we're manifesting what we truly desire from our heart space and not from the wounding. And the sun meets with Neptune first. Neptune entered Aries on January 26th. Neptune rules our dream space. It rules spirituality. It rules illusion, projection, longing, emotion, the collective consciousness. And a Cazimi is when a planet falls within 17 minutes of the sun's exact degree. So this planet is placed inside the heart of the sun. So it's illuminated from within. So something gets illuminated, gets highlighted when the sun meets with a planet. Dreams are highly active during a Neptune Cazimi, and we're already kind of there. Of course, we have the exact Cazimi point on the 22nd, but we're in that space. So we've been in a Mercury retrograde in Pisces, Mars is in Pisces, so we're in this Piscean Neptunian realm already. Neptune's in Aries now, so there's a fire here. So there's something that might become clear through your dream space. Something might become visible through the invisible. Or you might get a psychic download, an intuitive hit. Something might just click. It might be this feeling of, I just can't unsee this. I can't look away. You might feel that illusions start dissolving, or that truths surface, or that something that you've been unclear about is brought into clarity. It can also reveal where you've been avoiding reality or gripping to something that is not actually in true alignment for you, or where you need deeper trust, faith, surrender. We've been talking a lot about that on this podcast lately. There's so much uncertainty right now. The goal is not to rush to certainty, but to cultivate a relationship with not knowing, with the unknown, and let the truths emerge through you. And I think that's what this Cazimi could offer, is a spark of clarity. Or maybe it's just clearing the psychic field, eliminating illusion or things that feel cloudy or murky. And then after this Cazimi, we have the sun meeting with Saturn on the 25th. So we have a Saturn Cazimi right after the Neptune Cazimi. Saturn and Neptune have been traveling together for a while, so they've been in similar terrain and territory. And Saturn rules time and consequence and karmic precision. It's like the slow architecture of life. It's structure and boundaries, responsibility, devotion, time, discipline. So this Cazimi could clarify next steps. It could reveal what's truly sustainable, what's needed for the next chapter, what's reliable, what's sustainable. And a Saturn Cazimi is very sobering. I've been using that word a lot over the last year because I think it's such a big theme of Saturn in Aries is sobering. We've been in this Piscean dreamscape, and it hasn't necessarily been comfortable, especially with when Saturn is there since 2023. So there's this desire to return to soberness, responsibility, commitment, clarity, next steps. We had this major activation of Saturn and Neptune together on February 20th. They're starting to pull apart. Saturn moves faster than Neptune. And this Cazimi, both of these Cazimis, really illuminate this story that was activated on February 20th. We have a Saturn-Neptune conjunction every 37 years, but this one is unique because it's at the 0 point of Aries, so it's the beginning and the end. Neptune is dissolving the old world, and Saturn is building the new one. So we're perhaps getting a glimpse into what that looks like on a micro scale, or maybe even a macro scale if you're paying attention, if you're tuned into what's happening collectively. We'll definitely notice it personally, and getting a glimpse into what it could look and feel like when we learn the balance and the dance of surrender with aligned conscious action. This is not about doing more, building more, efforting more. This is about precision. This new era is not about returning to these old enslavement models that tell us we need to grind and work harder and suffer in order to succeed. It sounds silly, but it's about working smarter, working with more precision, getting in there and really getting clear on what we're creating and where we're creating from, the wound or the higher heart. So we have more manifestation energy that's available to us. The energy is incredibly, incredibly malleable right now. And I say that not as a warning, but really as an opportunity that we can really create whatever we desire right now. We just have to be clear where we're creating from. So I think from now until 2027, 2028, 2029, we're going to see the fall of the old and the new emerge at the same time. I've said this for a long time, but it's not that just one day we wake up and everything's different. It's a slow, gradual change where the old world is dying as the new one is emerging. So we get to choose, once again, conscious choice, that is Saturn in Aries. We get to choose what we're creating, the reality we're creating, what we're weaving, and that is starting to accelerate that process. The next activation we have this week is Venus meeting with Chiron on the 26th. And this is significant because Chiron's been in Aries doing this deep work around reorienting to the ego, to the self, activating this creator self, activating a healthy relationship with the ego, activating a healthy relationship with self, dissolving victim consciousness. And Venus meeting with Chiron means that we get to really get into the layers of our values and the wounds that are connected to what we're choosing in relationship, in money. Venus rules love, worth, relationship, attraction, values. Chiron is the wounded healer. It's our core wounds. It's our sensitivities. It's our vulnerabilities. I always say Chiron is the point in our charts where we feel like we can never fill it quite up. It's like the part of us that we're really good at. We're really good at giving it, but we struggle to receive it. This is the point where old relational wounds could come to the surface, where issues around values alignment, self-worth, sensitivities. And we know that when we're moving with Chiron, there is an opportunity for deep healing to occur. So bringing Venus here means that we bring an opportunity to heal something deeply. This is where some deep, old, past relational wounds can heal. This is where we get into our relational framework. That's what I call the place within us that holds all of our relational data, the relationships we've been in this lifetime, in past lifetimes. This is where the mother wound lives, the father wound that shapes and forms all of our relationships moving forward. So it's bringing us back to this place. Where are we creating our relationships from? Where are we creating our value system from? This conjunction can be an opportunity to quite literally relate differently, to allow vulnerability to be a portal for deeper connection. I always say that rupture deepens. We really can only deepen relationships when we are not afraid to rupture things, when we're not afraid to get deeper into those wounds, to talk about things, to explore the pain points together. The wound is a doorway, not a dead end. But this is a tender time. This could be a tender week. It could be confronting in some ways, where we quite literally see how we are creating the patterns that we so desperately want to change in our lives. And it's always like that, which is cool because we are the creators of our reality. So yes, of course, we are creating these scenarios, but also when we claim the responsibility for our reality, it means we also claim the power to change that reality. So this is good material here. And I think that's a huge part of this Chiron and Aries era. And we have Chiron moving into Taurus this year. So it'll retrograde, of course, but we have about a year to really start to master this Chiron and Aries medicine. It's going to reveal where we drop into victim consciousness, where we believe that life is happening to us rather than for us, where we project and blame others for the ways that life is not working in the way we'd like it to. This is where we claim our sovereignty. We claim our self-responsibility. Saturn's helping with this as well, of course, but that's where the creator point is. That is where we get to claim everything we desire, is when we claim that we're creating everything we do not desire as well. So this week is a big one. I think it's going to be illuminating, of course. I think it's going to be incredibly helpful. Once we hit the first, second, third week of April, it's going to be like wildfire. So I'm telling you, we're going to look back and appreciate these weeks and really harvest the medicine from it. And the card that I pulled from the Untamed Elemental deck is the Scarab card, and it's all about second chances. The Egyptian god Khafre wears a scarab crown each morning as he calls forth the sun, eliciting a sigh of gratitude across the planet for the new day. In this daily work of rebirthing the solar deity again and again, Scarab reflects your own infinite supply of second chances, enveloping you with the possibilities of past, present, and future. The cycle of death and rebirth is his gift to our evolution. As a premier companion for second chances, Scarab appears when the material world dissolves. He is here to hold your hand and help you take flight into the uncharted. Life is unstoppable, and every ending comes with a built-in beginning. All sunsets lead to sunrise. Everything ends, but in some form, there will always be an opportunity to do it again with greater refinement, satisfaction, and excellence. Face your judgment willingly, and with greater faculties, your victory over death is eternal. When it's balanced, you have faith in your ability to heal and willingness to see life's inherent talent for self-renewal. When it's imbalanced, you might feel flattened by a perception of terminal defeat. To bring into balance, align with nature's rhythms of advancement and retreat. Honor your primal instincts. And I love this so much because it's, of course, so in alignment with the birth of an Aries season, the spark of creation, the 0 point, the spring equinox. Every single day is an opportunity to begin again. Every single day is an opportunity to rewrite your story, your narrative, to reweave your reality. So I love that card. And I'm so grateful for each and every one of you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for showing up each week. Thank you for listening. I would love to hear how this episode lands for you. You can join my Substack. It's $8 a month. It's a great way to support the production of this podcast. And I also do deep dives over there. I talk about personal pieces and parts of my journey. I talk about deeper astrological wisdom. I did 2 articles, one on Saturn, one on Pluto, talking about the transits, talking about our own personal Pluto placements, our generations, how we can work with it. So join me over on Substack. I have it linked in the show notes. I also would love it if you could share this episode with someone, a friend, a family member. If you wouldn't mind sharing on social media, anything helps this podcast grow. So if you enjoy each week,